So what is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to master every single objection that comes with selling life insurance over the phone or in person. I'm going to give you guys the most common 5 objections that if you learn these 5, you will learn how to close nearly everyone. I promise you, by the end of this video, if you master this, you will make more money and win as a life insurance agent. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Peter Roberts. Why should you listen to me? I've sold over $500,000 of final expense life insurance over the phone on my own pen. I've handled hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of objections, and I've been able to document my sales calls, post them on the internet, and build a sales community. So I'm going to share with you guys everything that you need to know about objection handling so that you can make more money as a life insurance agent. And most importantly, side note, our agency, Legacy Family Life, has done over $800,000 of final expense sales, and I've taught this method that I'm going to teach you to nearly every one of our agents to help them become successful. And I guarantee if you implement this, you will make more money as a life insurance agent. So let's jump into the first step of objection handling. I want you to understand this. When it comes to objection handling, before you even get objections, the goal is to prevent objections. So if you're getting objections, you need to understand that your discovery is probably off, or you're not getting people to really come forward about what their concerns are. But let's say you get objections. You are going to live by this acronym here. It is going to be AIO. So you want to always acknowledge, you always want to isolate, and you always want to overcome. Okay, and this is the framework that I'm going to be teaching today that's going to allow you to overcome and handle every single objection. So let's give you guys the objection number 1 that you need to learn to overcome. Let's get it. So on my screen, the first objection is I need to think about it. So many times in the sales calls, you're going to get, well, it all sounds great, but I need to think about it. Here's how to handle it. What you must understand is that there is a deeper concern. So I totally understand. Number 1 is that we're going to acknowledge. I totally understand, Miss Betty, that you do need to think about it. This is a really important decision, and I would actually think about it myself. Now, when you say you need to think about it, is it more of the price, or are you just not sure if you need it? Are you sure? Is you not sure of the price, or are you not sure if you need it? Most of the times, Miss Betty is going to tell you, oh, well, I know I need the life insurance, but it's more I'm just worried about the price. So now you've just isolated the price. Okay, so it sounds to me that you do value having this life insurance. You want to make sure that your daughter is not stuck paying for your burial expenses. You want to make sure that no matter what, your family is taken care of. Is that about right? But it sounds to me that your biggest concern is the price. Is that what I'm hearing? Yes, it is, Peter. Well, how about we do this? And then you're going to downsell. Well, Miss Betty, how about we go ahead and find you something just to make sure that you have enough to cover your burial expenses. Instead of doing the $20,000, what we can do is we can start with that $10,000 to have something small in place to make sure that your daughter, Stephanie, is not stuck with your burial expenses. And ultimately, you can go to bed at night knowing that no matter what, your daughter is taken care of. Does that sound fair? And the last rule of all objection handling is always ending with, does that sound fair? So we're going to do it one more time. Miss Betty, I need to think about it. Okay, I totally understand that you need to think about it. We're going to acknowledge that. When you say you need to think about it, is it more of the price, or you're not sure if you need it? Well, it's more of the price. Isolate the objection. Why is she not moving forward? It's because she actually is worried about the price. Okay, get her to confirm. So it sounds to me that you do value the life insurance. You're just most concerned about the price. Is that about right? Yes, it is. Well, how about we do this? We're going to downsell. How about we start with the small option, the $10,000. So this is going to make sure that all of your burial expenses, explain how it's going to solve the problem. It's going to make sure all of your burial expenses are completely paid for. So your daughter is never stuck with your burial expenses. And ultimately, I'm going to be your agent for life. We can always increase it later down the road. Does that sound fair? And that's how you handle, I need to think about it. Let's talk about objection number 2. So objection number 2 is right here, is it is too money, or it is too expensive, or it is too high. Everything sounds good. You might hear your prospects say, well, everything sounds good. I want to do the policy, but the big thing is that it's the price that I'm really worried about. Okay. It's just too expensive. So the first thing you want to do in this situation is that you're going to acknowledge the objection. Okay. I totally understand. It sounds to me that everything does make sense, but the premium is just too much for what you can afford within your budget. Is that what I'm hearing? So always price is a budget thing. Acknowledge that it's not fitting in their budget. Okay, so it sounds to me that you really value the life insurance, Miss Betty. You're just most concerned about like that budget being comfortable, that premium every single month. Yes, it is. Okay, so how about we do this? Because it sounds to me that you want the life insurance isolated. It sounds to me that you really want to buy this, right? You really want to make sure that your daughter is not stuck with the burial expenses. Your biggest concern is that you're just worried about like that monthly premium. Is that about right? Absolutely. So how about we do this? Let's start with the downsell. Let's start with that $10,000 option instead of that $20,000 option. This will make sure that you have something in place again to cover your basic burial expenses, so your daughter, Stephanie, is not the one running to the funeral home. She doesn't have the money, and she ultimately will not be stuck with this huge financial burden. And then ultimately what we can do is I'll be checking up on you every single month. And if you get that money, if your budget changes, and ultimately you do get some more money that comes to you, what we can do is ultimately increase it. Does that sound fair? So when it comes to it's too expensive, they typically value the life insurance, but they're just worried about that monthly premium. You have to help them understand how they can go to a lower option and still solve their problem that will fit comfortably within their budget. Now, here's the kicker. If you come to them and say, well, let's start with the $10,000, that's going to be that $61 per month, and then we can increase it to the $20,000 for $120, and you give them the downsell, and they're like, well, I still can't do that. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to continue to downsell. So it sounds like to me, again, you're going to repeat yourself. You want the coverage. You want your daughter to not be stuck with your burial expenses. But the $10,000 for the $61 is still too high for you, right? You can't do the 61. Well, how about we do this? Instead of the $61, let's start with the $7,000. This will be that starter option so that you have something in place. And then ultimately we can always increase it later down the road if you can. But let's start with that $7,000 for the $45 per month. Does that sound fair? So the too expensive option is really just helping them fit into their budget and ultimately downselling until they find something that really fits strongly in their budget. Now, the third common objection that you're always going to get is it's going to be that spouse. I need to speak to my spouse. Hold up, Peter. I'm not doing anything until I speak to my spouse. This is actually one of the hardest objections to overcome. And the reason being is because someone else typically has control of their situation. Someone else is going to be helping them make the decision. Someone else is basically reliant. So someone else has the power, okay? So right now when someone gives you a spousal objection, or I got to talk to my daughter, or I got to talk to my sister, that means that someone else is having the power, okay? And if someone has the power and they're not here, we need to help the prospect get the power back in their hands so that they can make a decision on their own terms, okay? So how do you handle that? I'm going to be introducing and teaching you guys what is called a hypothetical, okay? So first, let me give you this situation. Miss Betty, do you want to go with the $20,000 or the $30,000? Well, Peter, I can't make any decision yet because I need to make sure that my husband is on the same page with me. Rule number one, acknowledge. So it sounds like, oh, absolutely. I mean, being married myself, I think it's really important that you do speak to your spouse. And just so we can be on the same page here, when you do go speak to Jim Tom, your husband, what do you guys think you're going to go over? Well, we're going to go over the price. So I asked that question, what are you guys going to go over to isolate what her concern is, okay? What are you guys going to go over? What do you think you guys need to speak about? Well, I'm going to go through, the budget and make sure it fits inside of her budget. Oh, so it sounds to me that you probably would go to him and you guys would both want the life insurance, but your biggest concern is the price for your coverage. You don't know if he'd agree with paying for that out of the same bank account. Is that about right? Yeah, we always make decisions together and I just got to make sure. Well, then you're going to implement a hypothetical here. Okay, Miss Betty, just curious. Hypothetically speaking, if your husband, Jim Tom, was sitting right next to you right now and you said, hey, honey, I'm looking at this life insurance. I want to make sure that you're not taken care of. Do you think he'd be like really, really upset with you right now? What's she going to say? Oh, no, he's not going to be really, really mad. And what makes you think he's not going to be really, really upset with you? Then she's going to start selling herself. We both know that we need this life insurance. Okay, so you would say, hypothetically, is here right now, he would be on the same page and you guys would kind of see eye to eye with the situation. Is that what I'm hearing? Yeah, that's probably it. Now, she has now confirmed that hypothetically, she does not need Jim Tom, her spouse, to be here to make the decision. So if that's the case, Miss Betty, it sounds like you really need this. How about we do this? Let's go ahead and first make sure that you get something small in place. Let's start off with the $10,000 because you know that's going to fit comfortably within your budget. Start with that small option first, and then you can always go to your husband later tonight and say, hey, honey, I got a small $10,000 life insurance in place because I love you. I want to make sure that you're not stuck with my burial expenses. And then if you speak to him and he wants to increase the coverage, what you can do is you can call me back tomorrow and we can actually increase it from the 10 to the 15,000. Does that sound fair? Okay, so in this situation, it's hypotheticals that you're using. Hypothetically, if he was here, would he be upset at you? No, he wouldn't. What makes you say that? Well, he wants me to do what's best for me. Okay, so then you're taking the power from the husband or the spouse back to the prospect. Okay, so you would agree that no matter what, you're the one that makes the decision. Yes. Well, how about we do this? And then you make the suggestion. I'm going to slow it down. The suggestion is this. Let's start with a small option that's comfortable that you know would give you some peace of mind. And then what we can do is that if that is comfortable for you, you can actually go to your husband later tonight and you can say, honey, I found a small policy. I got approved. Do you want to increase it? And then you can call me back and we can increase it from 10,000 to 20,000 if he wants to increase the coverage more. And then what that is doing, it is making her think that it is going her way. She gets to speak to her spouse, but ultimately you get to start off with something small and she gets to speak to her spouse. So you win, and then she thinks she wins because she can still think there is speak to her spouse. So that is how you handle the spousal objection. The fourth objection that you want to figure out how to handle is going to be the I need to shop around. Hey, Peter, I really appreciate it, but, this plan looks good and all, but I really just need to shop around and look for something else that's going to give me some peace of mind, okay? This is that shopping objection. When it comes to shoppers, typically, in general, underlying there's a lack of commitment somewhere. They have always been people that are just looky-loos, but here is how you handle that, okay? When someone says they need to shop around, you don't understand why they need to shop around. I totally understand you need to shop around. I would totally not buy the first thing that I found either. When you say you need to shop around, what specifically are you going to be shopping for so I can understand for our next conversation? Well, I just want to make sure I find the policy with the best plan. Okay, gotcha. And you're going to break that down. When you say you're looking for a policy with the best plan, what does that mean to you? Well, that means, something where I can get the most amount of coverage for the cheapest price. Oh, so it sounds like we're going to isolate. So it sounds like that you want the policy, but you just need to make sure that the policy that you do go with is going to be the most amount of coverage and it's going to give you the cheapest rate. Is that what I'm hearing? So as long as you could find something that's going to give you the most amount of coverage and be the cheapest rate, there shouldn't be anything holding you back. Is that what I'm hearing? Exactly. I just want to make sure I'm getting the best rate, best bang for my buck. Okay, well, how about we do this? Mr. Jim Tom, this is now conviction. This is a heart sale. Mr. Jim Tom, I work with over 20 plus companies. And as your agent and as your advisor, I know no matter where you go, where you look, if you can go to Mutual of Omaha, you can go to Lincoln Heritage, you can go to Aflac, you can go to Liberty Mutuals, you can go to Space, wherever you look for life insurance, this plan here is going to be the absolute best option for you. This $10,000 is the cheapest rate on the market. It's going to give you the most coverage and there's no 2-year waiting period. So how about we do this? What we can do is make sure that you can get qualified for this product, make sure you are set up, and then I can give you even 12 to 15 days, and I'll call you before your policy starts. And what we can do is we can call around together, and I promise you from now and until the next 15 days, you can do all the shopping around that you want, and I promise you by the end of the day, you're going to come back to me and say, hey, this really is the best plan. I know this is the best plan. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and we'll start with the small option. option, the $10,000 for the $51. I'll give you all the time in the world. Heck, 2 weeks, push it out. The sale's not made until you make the first payment anyways. And then you can do all the shopping, and then we'll come back together in 15 days. I'll call you at 1 o'clock, and I promise you won't have a better plan found. Does that sound fair? And then they're going to say yes. So you're basically, again, you're acknowledging you actually have to have a really good product here, which is the kicker. You got to make sure you have a really good product. You got to make sure you have that conviction. You got to have that heart, and you got to give them the leeway to want to shop around. And if you actually have the best product, you would make the suggestion, shop around, look around. The sale's not made until you actually pay for it. So shop around, but I promise you're going to come running back to me, and I'm going to have the best plan for you. And if you do that, it helps them think that they're going their direction, and they'll typically stay with you. They won't shop around, and you will be able to seal the deal and close the policy. The last objection I want to share with you is number 5, which is, I don't want to buy today. No pay today. Okay, this is the beauty of life insurance. You got people who are shopping, they buy it, and they're like, I can't pay for it today. It's the only product, which is kind of crazy, where you can set it out for a few weeks and then think about it. So let's say someone tells you, no, Peter, everything looks really, really good. The price looks fine. I think I want to do it, but I just can't pay for it today. Okay, well, that's a great objection, because this means that they actually are going to want to move forward. So, oh, I understand. So it sounds to me that you really value the life insurance, and this would give you the peace of mind. You just can't actually pay for it today. Is that what I'm hearing? That is called acknowledging the objection. They're going to say, yes. Okay, gotcha. And is it more that you don't have the money in your account today, or you rather set up for a date that would make sense for you, where you have that money there? What would be best for you? Then you're going to isolate. Well, I only get paid on the 3rd of the month. Okay, so as long as we can set everything up for the 3rd of the month, there shouldn't be anything holding you back. I just want to make sure that I'm on the same page with you. Exactly. So it sounds like, all we need to do is make sure that we can get that payment to start on the 3rd. So how about we do this? We're going to take their hand. We're going to make a strong suggestion. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we can even get you qualified for this policy, the $10,000 of coverage. I got to cross my eyes. I got to cross my fingers, cross my toes here. Make sure you can get qualified. And then if you are qualified for the best rate here for us, what we can do is we can set up your payment for the 3rd of the month when you receive your first paycheck every single month. And then we can make sure that payment comes on the 3rd of the month like you were worried about. Does that sound fair? And then they're going to say yes or move the ball forward. So if you can learn how to handle these 5 objections, and I hope you guys wrote down the word tracks, I need to think about it. Well, I totally understand that you need to think about it. Is it more the price, or you're not sure if you need it? Well, it's more the price. Well, how about we do this? It sounds like you value the life insurance, but the price is your biggest concern. Let's start with the smaller option, and then we can always increase it later down the road. And if you have that speed, and you have these objections down, and you can actually move the ball forward and be confident, because if you sound like, okay, what do you need to think? Well, okay, and you're uncertain, people are not going to buy. I need to think about it. It's too much money. It's too expensive. I need to speak to my spouse, my daughter, my sister, my step, uncle, aunt. 4th, I need to shop around because I think I can get a better policy. Or number 5, I can't pay for it today. I promise if you learn those 5 objections, you will master selling life insurance. You will smash your competition and make more money, and ultimately be a closer. Love you guys. If you want more videos like this, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace out. Cheers.